I would be foolish to think that we enter worship this day as clean slates. We do not stand before God this day without carrying the freight of a week's labor or a day's anxiety or the emotional and mental response to monumental decisions by the highest court in our land. Like many of you, I grieve the Supreme Court's decision overturning Roe v. Wade. Millions of women have been told they do not have the most fundamental freedom, which is bodily autonomy, to be protected by the Constitution. The right to decide what she can and cannot do for her own health, success, family planning, reproductive life, unless she lives in certain states. Women in other states with restrictive and removed abortion rights, especially the poor, will suffer most to gain control of their reproductive health. This in itself calls into question the inequality of privilege and class. Many of you have heard and do know my personal thoughts about abortion. I'm devastated by any circumstance in which women find themselves in pregnancy and how difficult it is for women to make a tough decision to abort. This being said, I long for a world where no woman faces such a decision, but I am faithful to a woman's right to make that decision with her medical professionals and her personal faith. It's her choice and hers alone. In this, I join our own denomination, the Presbyterian Church in the United States of America, by its stated position, in part, bodily autonomy is a basic human right that cannot be silenced nor legislated away. You and I are gifted with grace this day. This is the day the Lord has made for us, and we will rejoice in it, because we worship a God who is not shuddered by the events of any day, nor a God unbalanced by pendulum swings of culture and politics. We live in a kingdom belonging to our God, mysteriously growing like leaven in dough. The author of this creation is also its finisher. History is firmly in God's command. We will be strengthened to run the race of faith by our worship, and we will be energized to work for justice and to bring compassion to those who are marginal members of our communities, and certainly those who are now struggling to understand where their rights went in the United States of America. So let us continue to worship Almighty God this day, and thank you for the opportunity to clear some of the air that presses upon our own breathing this day. Let us worship Almighty God.